Hey sweetie, so since you want me to do this video for you, I'm going to do this real quick. I already started on one. I did my eyebrows already. If you want to learn how to do the eyebrows, I will show you another video on that. But I'm going to start on this eye right here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking a light concealer and I'm going to go into, hopefully you can see it, I'm going to carve out the bottom of my brow and actually use it to, this is going to be my primer and my shadow base for this eyeshadow. That's what I'm going to go on. And this is just inexpensive concealer, nothing fancy, nothing expensive. I got it out of the beauty supply store. I think I paid like $4.99 or $5.99 or something like that for this particular palette. So once I get this all over, I'm going to use my finger to kind of help blend it out. And make sure you get it all the way down. I'm going to actually try to get it as far down in the eye as possible. So you might have to dip your little brush into it several times to get enough product on.
Let me ask you a question.
And once I get all of that on to my desire, I take a piece of Scotch tape, if I can find it. If I can find where I put it. There it is. Okay. Take a piece of Scotch tape and kind of like try to get some of the stickiness off of it, because you don't want it to stick too much to your skin, because then it starts to take off some of your primer, and if you have on anything else, it kind of messes with that too. So I'm just going to stick this right onto the corner of my eye, and that's going to help me create a sharp line right across this line. Now you can use a card, or you can use it's kind of like your guideline, your own personal guideline, but this is my little trick to make sure that that line stays perfect. And with a big fluffy brush, I'm going to take a nude eyeshadow, just press it into it and set the entire space. I'm just going to set everything in place, and this actually helps with the blending of every other color that you put on, so that way you have more it's just a lot easier to blend out once you do all that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a blending brush and some pressed powder. This is my face powder, or one of my old face powders actually. I'm going to take some of that and use it as my transition color. So just go ahead, and I want the bulk of my color to be on the outer part of my eye. So I'm going to take that and blend it. Start blending. You can never rush this part, because if you rush this part, it will be obvious. You want everything to be blended as smoothly as possible. Sometimes I see stuff, and just kind of take some of that off. And the next step I'm going to take is I'm going to take this from this BH Cosmetics palette. It's just another taupe, like a darker taupey kind of brown. I'm going to take that and I'm going to place this same step, just a little bit lower. And I'm going to take it a little bit further down. You have to excuse the background noise. We're watching a movie at the same time, and I was like, oh, let me go ahead and do this video. So, hopefully I'm talking loud enough where you can hear me. And you're just going to keep blending it, just like I said, a little bit further down from where the other color was. Next step, take a fluffy blending brush and Just kind of blend those two together because you don't want any harsh lines. The whole point of this layering color and blending color is to make sure that there is no harsh lines, that there's no, you can't see where one color starts and one color ends. You want it all to be seamless. So kind of make sure you blend as much as possible. And the next step I'm going to take is I'm going to take this darker brown, which is Embark by MAC. I'm going to take this on a pencil brush, fluffy pencil brush. I don't even know what this is called. It's from BH Cosmetics, so it had no name on it. And I'm just going to take this even further down. And with this one, I'm actually going to put a little V, a bit of a V there, and blend it out. Just press into it, blend it out. Because you want it to, we're going for my go-to look. This is pretty much my go-to look. This is what I pretty much do every time I'm in a rush and I don't know what else I want to do. I don't know what kind of lip I want to wear. This is pretty much what I'm doing. Okay? So once we're done with that, we're going to take this plummy kind of color, which is actually Shadowy Lady by MAC. And you don't necessarily have to use these particular brands or what have you. You can always find alternative colors to these by different brands, cheap and more inexpensive brands. These are the ones that I go to because these are the ones that I know work for me. And so if you find something that works better for you, by all means use it. And I'm bringing that color in, blending it. And go back in with that extra big fluffy brush and blend it out. The next step is we're going to go into our lid color. And our lid color is actually, I don't even know the name of it, to be honest with you, because this was given to me by a good friend of mine. But it's a Urban Decay color. And I'm going to go into the shadow. This is like a goldish, champagne-ish kind of color. And what I'm going to do is once I get it onto my brush good, I am going to spray it with a little setting spray to give it a little moisture. Just one little squirt will be enough. And just pat. And the reason why I am spraying the brush first and then pressing it on is because that gives the brush, that gives that shadow more of a shine that it helps it shine, it helps the glitter stand out more in that shadow. And this is going all over the entire lid, the mobile lid rather. And so if you're tapping on your eye, you feel your eyeball, that's pretty much where you need to place the color. In a sense. Make sure you kind of round out some of that, or kind of your eye shape. And I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. That's why I'm using so few colors. Well, because I'm using so few steps, I should say. And nothing really hard as far as technique goes. The last color I'm going to place on the eye before I do the liner is going to be Carbon by MAC. And like I said, Carbon is a MAC product. You don't have to necessarily use a MAC product. You can find any dark black, very pigmented eyeshadow. In fact, NYX has a pretty good one. There's a really good one by Wet n Wild. There's several out there, so it doesn't have to be MAC. This is the one that I prefer, the one I like a lot. My go-to. I'm going to go into a little bit more of that so I can make that a little more pigmented. And if you notice, I'm pressing first and then blending instead of swiping it on, because I press, for me, that saturates the color right where I want it. Okay, and last step for the eye. I'm going to take this gel liner, and this is the Black Radiance Black Gel Liner. And basically I'm going to create a wing liner. I'm starting it out here and trying to trace it down into the eye. If you need more product, of course, go back into it. It takes practice to do this. So the first time you do it, you're not going to necessarily get it right because it took me forever. And sometimes I still screw up. I know makeup artists who have been doing makeup for eons and still struggle with the wing liner. You know, sometimes we start out with the intent to do a really small, simple line, and then the next thing you know, we're screwed up somewhere, and it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where you're like, okay, now you're looking like an Egyptian. But those things happen. Like right now, I'm not even, so now I have to go back into the other one and adjust it to this one.
Page 27. Calvin Candy. He owns the fourth biggest cotton plantation in Mississippi.
I'm going to take this off.
Everything that's for you by fantasy. And that's the reporter for the sir.
And then I'll make that as easy as possible. Now I went really big on one eye, I didn't go as big on the other eye. That's fine, it's fixable. And before I put my mascara on, I like to put white eyeliner in my waterline. And the reason I do this is because it creates a wider set eye. It's one of those tricks from the 60s that like Diana Ross and Twiggy's use. It makes your eyes appear larger. Especially if you're going to be on stage, you want everyone to make sure they see every detail of your face. And then I'm going to go into my mascara. And I swear, when we put on mascara, it's like we make the ugliest faces ever. I don't know why, but it seems like it helps. This is just a little cheap mascara, I think. I bought from like the beauty supply store. I think I paid like $1.99 or something for it. I needed something really quick. And just serving the purpose of what it is. There's no need to buy a really expensive mascara, in my opinion. And that's pretty much it for the eyes. So I'm going to come back in a second with the face.